Bondi Beach, one of the world's most famous beaches, became the site of Australia's deadliest mass shooting in decades. 15 people dead, 27 hospitalized, and a nation in shock. This is the complete breakdown of the Bondi Beach shooting, what happened, who was responsible, and the hero who stopped it from getting worse. Let's dive in. What's up, everyone? If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we cover major news events as they unfold. On Sunday, December 15th, 2025, a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach turned into a nightmare when gunmen opened fire on innocent families. This video will cover everything we know so far: the timeline, the suspects, the victims, and the incredible act of bravery that saved lives. Before we continue, a quick warning: this content involves a real tragedy, so viewer discretion is advised. Let's get into it. So here's how it all went down. Sunday afternoon, Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, packed with people celebrating Hanukkah. The Jewish community had gathered for a public celebration, families everywhere, kids playing in the sand, everyone having a good time. Then, around midday, gunfire erupted. Witnesses described absolute chaos, people running, screaming, trying to find cover on an open beach where there's literally nowhere to hide. According to reports, at least 15 people were killed on the spot, 27 more were rushed to hospitals with injuries. Among the dead, a 10-year-old girl named Matilda, a Holocaust survivor, and 2 rabbis who were leading the celebration. Think about that for a second: a Holocaust survivor who escaped one of history's darkest chapters only to lose their life in a terror attack decades later. The irony is devastating. Police swarmed the area within minutes, the entire beach was locked down, and emergency services worked frantically to save as many lives as possible. But here's the critical question everyone's asking: who could do something like this? Australian media has identified the suspects as a 50-year-old man and his 24-year-old son. A father and son duo, working together, targeting a Jewish celebration. Police immediately labeled this as a terrorist attack, specifically aimed at the Jewish community. Now, what we know about these two is still developing, but authorities have confirmed they were motivated by extremist ideology. The older gunman, the father, was shot and killed by police at the scene. The son was taken into custody and is now facing multiple charges. Here's what makes this even more disturbing: this wasn't some random act of violence. This was planned, this was deliberate, this was a hate crime executed in broad daylight at one of Australia's most iconic locations. The fact that a father would involve his own son in something like this, that he would pass down this hatred to the next generation, it's chilling. Australian Prime Minister has addressed the nation, calling this an attack on Australian values and the Jewish community specifically. World leaders have condemned the attack, and the investigation is now focusing on whether these suspects had any connections to larger extremist networks. But wait, because there's more to this story. In the middle of all this chaos, one man did something extraordinary. His name is Ahmed al-Ahmed, and he's being called a real-life hero, and for good reason. While people were running away from the gunfire, Ahmed ran toward it. According to witnesses, he physically wrestled one of the guns away from the attackers. Let that sink in for a moment. While bullets were flying, this man charged at an armed gunman and disarmed him. New South Wales Premier Chris Minns called Ahmed a hero, saying his actions without a doubt saved lives that day. Think about the courage that takes. Most of us like to think we'd be brave in a crisis, but when you're actually facing down someone with a gun, your instincts scream at you to run. Ahmed didn't run, he fought back. There's something poetic about this too, in an attack motivated by hate targeting one religious community, a member of another community. Ahmed, likely Muslim based on his name, became the hero who stopped it. It's a powerful reminder that hate divides us, but courage and humanity unite us. Ahmed is reportedly being treated for injuries, but is expected to recover. The community has rallied around him, calling for him to be officially recognized for his bravery. And honestly, if anyone deserves a medal, it's this guy. But the story doesn't end there. Australia is reeling from this attack. This is a country that hasn't seen a mass shooting of this scale in years, thanks to strict gun control laws implemented after the Port Arthur massacre in 1996. For context, after that tragedy, Australia essentially banned semi-automatic and automatic rifles, implemented mandatory buyback programs, and created one of the toughest gun control systems in the world. And it worked. Mass shootings became extremely rare. So the fact that this happened now has reignited the debate about gun control, with officials calling for even stricter measures. But here's the thing, how did these suspects get access to weapons in a country with such tight restrictions? That's what investigators are trying to figure out. Were the guns illegally obtained? Were there loopholes in the system? These are questions that need answers. Meanwhile, the Jewish community is mourning, not just in Australia but worldwide. Vigils have been held across Sydney, memorial services are being planned, and there's a real sense of vulnerability right now. People are asking, if this can happen at Bondi Beach in broad daylight, where are we truly safe? The psychological impact of this attack will last for years. Survivors will deal with trauma, families will grieve their loved ones, and an entire community will have to rebuild a sense of security that was shattered in minutes. But there's one more thing we need to talk about. This attack is part of a larger global trend we can't ignore. Anti-Semitic attacks have been rising worldwide, and targeting religious celebrations is becoming a tactic for extremists who want maximum impact and media attention. What happened at Bondi Beach wasn't random, it was calculated to cause fear, to make a community feel unsafe even in their moments of joy and tradition. Australia now joins a growing list of countries dealing with domestic terrorism motivated by hate. The response from authorities has been swift, with increased security at Jewish sites across the country, but the question remains, is this enough? Can we prevent future attacks, or are we always going to be reacting after the fact? One thing is clear, this attack has changed Australia. The sense of safety that comes from being an island nation with strict gun laws has been shaken. People are scared, they're angry, and they're demanding action. The suspects' motivations will be dissected in court, their backgrounds investigated, and hopefully, we'll learn how to prevent something like this from happening again. But for now, the focus needs to be on the victims, on honoring their memory, and supporting the survivors who will carry the scars of this day forever. Ahmed al-Ahmed showed us what true courage looks like, and in the darkest moment, that's what we need to remember. That's everything we know about the Bondi Beach shooting so far. If you found this video informative, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.